America, and we just talking. But the problem is, it's hard to find people that are interesting. I am back, HB. It's hard to find people that are interesting. And I get connected with a lot of weird people. So we're going to have to, not weird, but just like people who don't speak English. All around the world, exactly. Just Pakistan.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm doing well. Let me guess, you from Pakistan?
Yeah, you're from Korea.
Yeah, I'm from the United States of America.
That's good, but you are looking like Korean. Like
I'm,
Chen Zi-yuan. You know? Chen Zi-yuan. He is a Korean actor, dramas actor.
can you show me a photo of him? Can you show me a picture of what he looks like? I don't know who he is. Can you show me a picture of him?
Yeah, why not? Just wait a second, I will show it.
Okay. Man, see, what I'm kind of curious about, man, is what are people in Pakistan using as their phone filters? Because everything is like very, very pale. You know, the skin tone, the background, everything is super pale. What is the filter that they are using on their phones? You know what I'm saying? What is going on over here?
Wait, I will show you. Just wait a second.
Okay. Thank you, Marvon. How
Oh, wait a second.
you think I look like him?
Yeah, you look like him. A little bit.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that comment from you. So let me ask you this.
Yeah,
Let me ask you this. You are
you don't
so
know.
hold on. So let me ask you,
You don't know
where
him.
you going?
I'm
Where you
here.
going?
I say you don't know
Okay,
him.
so let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. So you live in Pakistan, right?
Yeah, I live in
You live in
Pakistan.
Pakistan? What do you think of the United States of America? I'm from the United States. What do you think of America? You like America?
A little bit, not more. Welcome
A
height.
little bit? Yeah. But I live in China now. Do you like China?
Yeah, I like China and Korea.
Yeah, but do you like America?
No.
You don't like America? You like Donald Trump? Donald Trump, you know who he is?
What?
Donald Trump? Donald Trump. Ah, man. Oh, this shit. Let's keep moving, man. Let's keep moving. She did not like Donald Trump, man. As soon as she heard Donald Trump, she said, hell no. You disconnected that shit. Man, why do I keep... Let's keep moving. Thank you, Jamie. I said, do you like Donald Trump? She just bounced. What up, man? Damn, what the hell's going on over here? Thank you, Wild Kit Kat.
Oh,
Ooh. All right, how you doing? Let me sit up for this one. How you doing? I gotta sit up for this one. Ooh,
oh my God.
I gotta sit up for this one. How
Thank
you
you.
doing?
I'm doing great. You?
Hey, do you mind? Do you mind if we match in like a minute? Let's just chat for a minute, and then we could,
Okay,
and then we
okay.
can match. Is that okay?
Yeah, for sure.
My name is Daniel. My name is Daniel, man. What's your name?
My name is Connie.
Where you from?
I'm from Korea. You?
Oh, I'm from the United States. But
Mm,
I'm American, but I live in China. So I've been
oh,
living in China for the last 6 years. Yeah, but I'm coming to Korea though. I'm coming to Korea very soon because I stream from the streets. Why you laughing? Why you don't believe me?
Oh, don't mind me. Sorry.
How's your English so good though? Your
My
English is so
English?
good. Yeah, you study in America?
Yeah, when I was little, I stayed in like Texas, and then I went to China for studying. I went to international school.
Okay, and now you're back in Korea?
Yes,
I'm
you're.
guessing you're in Seoul?
No, I'm not in
You got a
Seoul.
nice smile. You got such a nice smile. You gotta follow me. You gotta follow me. Hey, look, hey, click on my how many followers you got? How many followers you think I got?
I've never checked. Oh, you got a lot of followers.
Yeah, we
Good
make
for
good
you.
content.
Good for
Follow me.
you. I followed you.
Follow me. All right, I got you. We gotta stay connected. So how long did you stay in America?
For in America for like in total like only 2 years.
Did you like Texas? Did you like America?
To be honest, I have no memories in Texas because I was too young.
Oh, you were so young. I got you.
Yeah.
And then where you stay at in China? Where you stay at in China when you were in China?
No, that was kind of a random thing, but my mom was like, "Oh, you should go to China with your brother because like, like China will gonna grow huge, like the development and stuff. So, it's a good
They
opportunity."
just they just shipped you. They just shipped you to China. The fuck? What the hell just happened? Man, man, Derek, you see this bullshit? You see this shit right here? Man, this that shit again. So I guess she ain't like me. I ain't.
Oh,
Hurt my
hi,
ego.
man. How are
We went
you?
from that to this. So for all the ladies and gentlemen who are watching, we went from that to this. Look at that, man. We went from that to this, everybody. Y'all see this shit right here? Y'all see this? Everybody, y'all see this? We went from that
Yes,
to
I'm
this.
serious. I am serious.
Hey man, what up? Hey man, what up, dog? How you doing?
I'm fine.
Let me guess, you in Pakistan?
Yes, yes. And you from China?
I live in China, but I'm from the United States. I'm
Live in
American.
China? From United States. Thanks, man.
Right. That's right. Hey, which one you like better, China or America?
Uh, I like
Yeah. Which one you like better,
I
China
like
or
Chi-
America?
I like China because we are friends.
Yeah, you sound like Donald Trump, by the way. The way you just said China just now, it sounded like Donald Trump. You know Donald Trump? Donald Trump?
Donald
You
Trump.
know Mr.
I
Donald Trump?
like I like Donald Trump. He's a good
You
man.
like Donald Trump? Yeah, that you
Yeah.
just said China the way that he says China. You pronounce China the same way that he does. He calls China China. That's the way you just said it. Very good. Very good.
China.
You like you like America? You like
Oh,
America? Some
some.
some. Uh, just a little bit. He said just a little bit. Oh man.
Because Americans like Indians. American like India.
Do you like India?
No,
No?
India not like Pakistan. India not like Pakistan.
Got it. I knew that. I just wanted to ask you. I kind of knew the answer, but I just wanted to ask
Ah.
you anyway. I knew that y'all didn't get along, but I just wanted to
I
goad you
like
into an answer anyway.
I like China first. Then I like United States of America.
Uh-huh. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you, man. All right, man. Well, hey man, let me ask you a question. Would you if your wife was Indian, would you be okay with that? Would you be okay with an Indian wife?
No, I cannot. No, my wife never Indian. Never Indian. No, no.
Oh, he said
I
no.
married in Pakistan.
He said no, bro. He said no, y'all. Y'all heard this, man. He
Yes.
said no. Ah, man. Well, very nice to meet you, man. Very nice to meet you guys. I gotta get up out of here, man. I gotta get up out
Nice,
of here.
nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet y'all. Fuck. Blew it with that girl from Korea, man. It's that shit again. Ah, man.
Hi,
Hey, man, how you doing, man? Where you from?
I'm good. I'm from Brazil. And you?
Oh, man, you the first Brazilian I've ever met on this app. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks. One battle.
My phone about to run out of battery, man. I gotta keep moving. I ain't got no battery left on my phone.
Kick it
I'll see
up.
you later, dog. Let's keep it moving. So, Derek, as you can see, we're experimenting with a new format where we're trying to bake in a little bit. Oh,
Hey, what's
how you doing, sir?
Hi, Mr.
How
Monkey.
are you, sir?
I'm doing all right.
Hey, man, where you from?
I am in LA from New York. How about you?
I'm from North Carolina, but I live in China. You
You're in
believe that
China right
shit?
now?
Yeah, I'm in China right now. I've been in China for 6 years, dog. Last time, dude, I'm an American citizen. My home in North Carolina, but I haven't been back in America since 2019.
Okay.
So it's crazy, man. I haven't been back home in 5.5 years, man.
Why?
People tell me shit. Well, I mean, it was a lot of reasons, man. When I came to China, I came here for a job, and as soon as I came here, like 6 months, 9 months later, COVID happened, and I couldn't come home because if I came back, I couldn't get back into China. They're gonna make me go through like 14 days of quarantine. So for like all of COVID, I just never left China. And now COVID is over. I'm gonna decline that shit. Now COVID is
Claudia.
over. I'm just like, everything is so much more expensive, like the flights and everything. So that's why I haven't come back. So how's everything going on? How's everything going back home though in America? How's everything going these last few years?
Well, to your point, things are more expensive. We've had hyperinflation over the last 4 years. For the first time in my lifetime, I actually saw hyperinflation, which is terrible. It doesn't impact me as like it's not devastating for me, but it is devastating
Okay.
for some people. And like you, right? You're like, oh, the flight used to be 1,200, now it's 2,000,
Right.
right?
Right.
But then when you come back, the rent is also going to be 40% higher, and the food's going to be 40% higher, and this is going to be 40% higher, and this is going to be 20% higher. So you have to really make life decisions based on this inflation that's happened. And it hasn't just happened in the US, but this is the first time in 50 years it's happened in the US.
But let me ask you this though. Like one of my friends was telling me about like Southern hospitality that we got in Chapel Hill. He was saying that he felt like some of that was missing. He lives in Thailand. So one of my close friends live in Thailand. He was telling he also from Chapel Hill. He was like, man, when I go back home to these days, he was like, it feels like the Southern hospitality. He's like, it feels like people aren't as nice to each other as before COVID. Would you say that's true? Do you feel that at all? Or is he just
Um,
making shit up?
well, that's his. All right. We can agree there's like 7 billion people in the world, right? Are you,
Right, right, right.
what's your math? Are your math is good? Are you analytical?
My math is real good.
Okay, great.
Real good.
So is mine. Um, so if we have ballpark 7 billion, let's just play with that number. Um,
Okay.
and you have deductive reasoning, how many people do you think you can interact with? As much as we're interacting with now, like have a conversation, greet someone, say hello, have some memory of
Right.
this person in 3 years from
Right.
now, not just someone you're walking by on the train station, right?
Right.
So
Right.
how many people do you think that's likely? How old are you? 25 years old, 30 years old?
I'm 34. I look a little bit younger, but I'm 34. I just turned 34.
34. So how many people that you think you've interacted with in a conversation and interaction has
Yeah.
lasted more than 2 minutes in your life?
Yeah.
Ballpark. Give me a
In my
number.
entire life.
Yeah.
in my entire life.
Yeah.
Shit. Oh man.
Yeah, let's go battle, and we can talk about it in the battle if you want.
Sure.
I have a streak,
Um,
so don't take it. Okay. I want to keep my streak this morning. We got this guy Monkey
I don't
Kong.
know, man. You got a lot of viewers. You got a lot of followers. I
No,
don't know. I
you
don't think
already
you're gonna
have
win
60.
against me, man.
I'm already getting crushed. I have a streak. I
I
have a
don't. I don't think
16.
you're gonna win against me, man. You the one who wants to battle, man. I'm gonna answer your question in a second. I'm gonna tell you what I do, man. So I hit the streets out here in China. I just walk around. But what I also do is like nowadays, I just want to talk to people. And if I find somebody's a good sport and they could hold a conversation, they're actually interesting, I'll battle them. But I don't want to battle just for the sake of battling, you know.
Okay.
So, because we are having a good conversation, I was like, yeah, let's battle. But to answer your question, I would say that number's probably less than, man, that number's got to be less than like 5,000 because I'm a loner.
Okay.
I'm not very social. I don't really party. I don't really go to like a lot of social functions. You know what I'm saying? I've always been a loner. You know what I mean? I never went to a lot of parties when I was in high school, so probably
Okay,
less than
so
5,000 people.
I agree with your thought on numbers here. So say it's 5,000 people. So let's now go back to your buddy in North Carolina or South Carolina or wherever. So in a 5-year period, that number, maybe he interacted with a few hundred people. Maybe.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Probably 50. But I'm just saying a few
Right.
hundred. So he interacted with a few hundred people of the millions of people that live in his community, of the tens of million
Right.
people that live in the South. Hey, she said, we're going against a really tough competitor here. Maybe I made a mistake with my streak. He has an 8-game streak. He's very confident. Something tells me he's got a shitload of people there, but that's okay. I can deal with it. All right. So let's get back to that topic because I do like
Okay.
how he articulates, which is very hard to find on TikTok, to be honest. He has interacted with very few people. He has a very small sample. So mathematically, he really doesn't have the ability to pass a judgment other than his own personal bias with the 50 people he interacted with. And honestly, he probably interacted with 2 or 3 people that used to be his friend that just weren't as nice to him, and his entire
Right.
opinion
Right.
is based on 3 people. So I don't think he's I don't know him, but I just immediately think there's no qualification on that opinion. So it's we need to sample dozens, if not hundreds of people to get a good vibe on that.
Well, how do you feel though? Let me turn this question around on you though, but just based on your sample size, how do you feel? You know what I'm saying? These last few years, you feel like
So
people are becoming like more stressed? You feel like they're becoming more distant? Or you feel like it's the same as
I
before?
feel that the answer, which you're not going to like, is more NA, right? At the end of the day, it's just not. There's no way to say it's really that different. There isn't. Like the things in
You
life
feel
that
like it's the
change.
same.
Who did I battle
That's
here?
it.
Who did I battle here?
Thank
Oh
you,
my God.
Sin. Thank
You
you,
are.
everybody. Thank you.
I
Thank
think I
you.
battled like the number 1 guy on TikTok, but we'll just move on. So my
No.
thought there is, you know what? Don't get consumed with small things that happen in life, right?
Yeah.
Concentrate on the positive. So if that's your good friend, why don't you just try to steer him back in the direction of being positive? Get his optimistic side, bring it out for him, let him go back
Yeah.
into the world and stay optimistic. And I think his mindset will change soon enough. Now, we
Thank
can
you,
talk about
William.
things that actually changed. Go ahead.
No, please. I'm listening, sir.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
listening.
So
I'm sorry to
things
interrupt
that-
you. Things that changed.
Things that have changed. The U.S. has had hyperinflation.
You can feel it.
No,
You can feel it.
I can read it. Forget about feel. I can see it for sure. So this is not subjective. This is objective. The U.S. inflation rate in the last 4 years, this year almost is ending soon, is near 22% in 4 years. Okay, so on average, inflation's like 2 to 3% a year. So it should be closer. So we had double the inflation of what we normally have.
Right.
Yeah, right. There's always a little. Some years you get 1.5% inflation, but in the last 4 years, and maybe COVID has something to do with it, the United States, the world has had inflation.
Right.
for whatever reason. So when you go to the grocery store in the US now, a dozen eggs, instead of $2.99, it's $3.99. A carton of orange juice, instead of $1.99, is $2.99. Everything has gone up significantly in a very short duration, right? If I say when I was a kid and I bought a pack of gum, maybe it was a dime, then it was 25 cents. Now a pack of gum is like $1.
Can I say something about that?
Yeah.
Can I say something about that? How do I address you, sir? My name Daniel. My name is Daniel. How do I
Mark.
address you?
Nice to meet you, Daniel.
Mark. Okay.
Mark.
Very nice to meet you as well. So what if I told you, this is the craziest thing in the world, is like, what if I told you, like, I'm living out here in China, right? And I've been living here for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
What's crazy is like, I am still following everything that happens back home in America, but I live in a country that is also a global superpower, yet things here are the opposite of what's happening in America. Not just the word different, the opposite. So we have, you say hyperinflation.
Mm-hmm.
We got deflation here in China. Things are getting cheaper in
Good.
China, which is insane, right? But you would think it's good for the average person, but it's not good for an economy that's this size. They need 2 to 3% inflation every year to keep growing their economy. It's like, and I can feel it too. I use this example for my audience members. I bought a dryer in 2020, a dryer for my clothes, okay, which they don't use that much out here in China because a lot of people hang their clothes. But I bought a dryer. The dryer was like $150
Okay.
4 years ago. $150 bought me a freaking dryer. Okay, now this wasn't no GE, luxury dryer, but it dried clothes. It worked fine. The dryer broke after 4 years, and I had to go get a new one. I look up the price. It's now $110. The price has like fallen by 30% over the last 4 years. And it's the same case. It's like I look around everywhere. Food, same price. Some things are even cheaper. Groceries, a lot of things. And it's like, it's kind of crazy because I still watch all the news from America.
I'm very analytical. So to remember the beginning of this conversation, I think we talked about your friend. He's like, it's less hospitable in the South. It's very subjective, right? It's just an opinion. So let me take a look at some numbers so I can be very constructive in this conversation. Is that okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Inflation rate in China over the last 4 to 5 years. Let me see what I can put.
Oh man, he fact checking me, y'all. Look at, yo, he fact checking me, y'all. Shit.
Okay. All right. So there's a lot of truth to what you're saying. So let's talk about facts now. The inflation rate in China is extremely low, and it actually surprised me. It isn't negative, so which can happen. The inflation rate is anywhere from 0.2% to 1.9%, which is very.
I'm telling you right now that number is not accurate. I'm telling you that number is not entirely. I'm telling you from based on my experience on the ground, things are going into deflation mode. Like, yeah, I mean, you could look at certain things, you could say they're more expensive, but I'm talking like just for a human being to live a basic life, so many everyday consumables is like, if you look at a lot of the factory gate stuff, meaning the things that come out of Chinese factories, that's in deflation territory. Things are getting cheaper. Producer index is going lower. A lot of these things are going cheaper. So I'm telling you, I feel like I'm living in a twilight zone where it's like, all I'm hearing from my friends back home in America is like, things are so expensive. But it's like here, I'm just like, dude, it's crazy because how could the two largest countries in the world be having opposite things happening? And it's like the last few years, our interest rate has gone up like crazy. It's pretty much every single few months we raise the interest rate. We only just started to lower the interest rate this year. China's been lowering interest rate every single year since 2022.
Well, that's not. I mean, that's artificial, right? That's only local, because if their interest rates lower there, interest rates pretty much are global. They are, because if the interest rate was lower in China, say it was 3%, and the interest rate here was 6%, then you would just
Right.
buy money in China and just put it here and make money instantly. So
That's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. The yuan was 6.3 when I came to China. Now it's 7.2. That's exactly what's happening. A lot of
Yeah.
people are selling yuan and buying dollars. What you just described is exactly what's happening.
right.
When I
But
first
what'll
came to
happen
China,
is it'll happen slightly and then it'll balance out because there's too much money to be made if you can buy and sell money just so quickly. The variance is very, very small to talk about math.
when Donald Trump got elected as president, the yuan was 7.05. $1 is equal to 7.05 yuan. Today is 7.22. That thing moved 17 cents in 1.5 weeks. And this is not like a stock. This is a currency.
I understand. It's
And
bigger
I
than
am
a
hearing
stock.
people say that this thing could go to 8 or 9 or possibly even 10. So it's very interesting. So if you like economics like I do,
Yeah.
they're saying that if Trump puts 60% tariffs on Chinese goods, one of the things that they could respond by is by devaluing their currency. So if you raise the cost of goods going into America, what they could do is make their currency cheaper to balance out the cost of those tariffs.
That wouldn't be good for your citizens.
Exactly.
Very bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's what will happen next if that happens. You'll get inflation.
Right.
A lot.
Exactly. So I don't know, man. I find it interesting to talk to you about this stuff
Yeah,
because
very interesting.
I like talking to people from back home in America who are
I'm gonna,
knowledgeable.
follow you. Hold on a second. All right, my chat is blowing up here. Hold on a second. I'll
Your
follow
chat is
you
blowing
if you
up.
want.
How many people you got watching?
Oh, there's 7 people that I can see, and then there's like more than people. I don't know that much about TikTok, but there's more people in my chat than there are up above. It's kind of weird. Do you know how that works exactly? They ghost mode or something?
I have no idea, but your name is Mark, right? Yeah, follow me, man. What I do is very simple, man. Every single time when I feel like taking a rest, what I do is I just hit the host button and I try to see who I can get matched with everywhere in the world. And then I just connect with them. I just talk to them. I especially want to connect with Americans, just people from back home in America, and just want to chat with them, just see how things are going back home in the States.
All right, let's go into this a little deeper because
Okay.
I agree with almost everything you're saying. I do think that your opinion on inflation in China is off because I fact checked it a second time. So what you might be feeling, you can't just look at one item, right? When we're talking about the inflation rate for the country of China, we're looking at everything. So if you say that appliances went down, that's okay. We're going to average inflation amongst every single possible item there is. So if washer and dryer went down 20%, fine. Something went up 20% and your inflation is almost zero, right? It's a slight. The fact that China's inflation is a 0.5 point or 1% and the rest of the world is at like 4 or 5% makes it even feel more, right? So say you're 7 foot tall, but everyone around you is 5 foot tall. It feels like you're taller than if everyone's around 6 foot tall. So it's just a bigger differential. Your variance is so big that you can actually feel it. So I get that. Now, listen, China is a very interesting country for the fact that they've always had a lot of people. So they've had one giant resource, labor. Not the only resource, but China's, if I have to stereotype China and just describe it over 50 years, China's biggest resource has been labor. Even 2,000 years ago, the biggest resource was labor.
That's what I've been telling my people. That's what I tell my viewers all the time when we're walking the streets. I tell people the same thing. Please continue.
Okay. So the one thing that's really interesting about China, and you probably know a lot more about China. I've been to China, so I'll say that. I've spent 3 weeks.
Where you been in China?
I spent 3 weeks in China.
Where? Like what cities? Do you remember?
I was in Beijing, Shanghai.
Okay.
I got to see the terracotta soldiers it's like Zia. I'm gonna misenunciate.
Xi'an.
What?
The city of Xi'an. Yes.
I went. It was about 7 years ago, so some of the cities I don't remember, but I went to The city where all the women have the really long hair,
Yeah,
the
so you
hair
can
down to their ankles. I can find it for you if you want. I can look at I can go find my itinerary, but the girls are
Okay.
beautiful.
Okay.
They sell a lot of like hair products, but the women have hair all the way down to their ankles.
Okay.
You
I
never,
haven't heard of that, but I'll look it up after this. But you were saying the biggest resources there, people, the labor. Okay,
so
I'm curious where you're going with this. Thank you,
yeah,
King.
okay, this is where I'm going. So over the last 50 years, that has been China's, or 2,000 years, but in the global economy, China's labor rate was huge, right? So they took
Right.
that labor, and as more need for washers, dryers, watches, electronics came, they're like, hey,
Right.
we can use China for manufacturing, right? So take the
Right.
last 50 years or 60 years, and China manufactures most of the world's economy. Now,
Right.
50 years of that, right? So now you have very rich, there's a huge hierarchy in China, and the middle class is not as prevalent in China as is in many countries. For a country with such wealth, such power, the middle class is small comparatively. Okay.
Okay.
The very rich people in China are running these factories, and they're even though it's a communist country, the capitalism is freaking ridiculous. It's
I agree.
yeah, the people at the top of China, I've met them when they come here, right? They're freaking
Yeah.
uber wealthy, uber.
Very,
And they come
the
to
richest
America
people
and they're
I've ever
like,
seen in my life.
what?
Richest people. They the richest people I've ever seen in my life.
They're
They
very
are the
rich.
richest people.
They're very
Yes.
wealthy.
Yes.
Okay. I'm totally ignoring my chat. So let me just tell my chat something. I'm going to get back to everyone's question. I'm having a good conversation with Monkey Khan. So someone's asking me where in New York. I grew up in New York City. I guess this can help a little bit. Oh my God, Mark, you're funny. Da, da, da. Someone says that you're popular or whatever. Whatever that means. You probably know it. People are saying that in my chat.
I am pretty popular. Yes.
Okay, he's popular on TikTok.
But let's keep moving.
Okay,
Let's keep moving though.
going. All right, so you have these people in China that are running things. They're running the factories, the manufacturing, the export industry is huge, right? So that's bringing GDP to China. Huge
Right.
GDP, huge. I mean,
Right.
trillion, right? So now that money's coming in, and that money's going to get trickled back down. Some of these people in China are smart. They're like, don't put the money back into China. Go ahead and buy property in Hawaii, buy property in Europe. Just start owning shit outside of China, just in case you want to diversify your portfolio. But most of the $1 trillion comes back to China. Hence,
Right.
because of that huge labor, because that is their main GDP coming in, that's making it, that's probably why you're feeling no inflation, right? There's so much
Yeah.
money coming into the economy. But if you go around China, and I went to some impoverished communities. There's 90% of your population living in poverty, maybe 80% of the population. But a huge
I would say 80%. I wouldn't say 80%.
Okay.
But let me stop you for a second though,
Go ahead,
Mark.
go
Let me
interject.
because I think a lot of the things you say are true. Some of the things I'm gonna give you my perspective. Okay, so they got like 1.4 billion people living out here in China. Okay, 1.4 billion is the population. They probably have, in my eyes, I think they probably have at least 500 to 600 million people living in what they define as middle class. But what they define as middle class is not what is considered middle class in America. Their middle class is like $300 a month. If you make $300 a month, you are middle class. You make $300 a month in America, your ass is on government assistance. Okay, you cannot
Not
even live on $300 a
probably
month.
on the street.
But
homeless.
their definition of middle class is $300 a month, because for $300 a month you could live in most cities. In most cities, you could live on $300 a month. You really can.
Okay.
Okay, so you are absolutely right, man. This country has a lot of people, and the people are hardworking. They work. I have never seen a people, and this is coming from the United States, man. I ain't never seen a people that work harder. And it's not. I think a lot of people don't understand this. It's not just that they are hardworking and that they can make things. I don't think people understand the depth of China's supply chain advantage versus the rest of the world. There is no country in the world that has a supply chain as good as China's. And we're talking supply chain, we mean logistics, roads, railways, airports, ports. All these things, when they get made, when they go from the factory to all these ports, to all these airports, how they get shipped to America, their logistics is unbelievable.
Of course.
Unbelievable.
You've been doing it for 2,000 years, but really been doing it for
hear me
60.
out.
Yes, got it.
But hear me out on this though. But what's really concerning is you got a lot of people, but the population is aging and the birth rate is falling very, very quickly.
Okay.
So what I like to tell people, what I always felt like is like, the country, they got a lot of people, but people aren't having kids. They got a birth rate that is like lower than Japan now.
Okay.
And Japan is an advanced industrial nation, right? Mm-hmm. The only country that's like lower birth rate is like Korea, South Korea.
Okay.
So people aren't having. So now, very soon, you're gonna have a population aging.
It's going to decrease. The population is going to decrease.
It's already decreased. Last year it decreased. This year it'll decrease again.
It's okay.
So it's like, there's pros and cons to that, right? With a population that decreases, fewer environmental burden, you use less water, you have less pollution, right? But the problem is it's happening at a way too fast rate. They didn't think that they were going to go into population decline until maybe like 2035, 2040, but it happened 2 years ago. So they're like 20 years ahead of when this was going to happen. So like I said, man, as I'm sitting here and I'm watching all this happen, this is probably a reason why I like living out here in China, because I'm an American, but I like the way that things move at this country, man. Things move fast out here in China. Change happens fast and you see things happen so quickly. And it makes life, in my opinion, a little bit more exciting than if I was still in North Carolina. That's the reason why I like living out here.
There's plenty going on in China. But I don't like the fact that that what you call the middle class in China, or what China calls the middle class, is really poverty. Because let's just compare it to every country in Europe. Let's compare it to countries in South America. Even Argentina, even Brazil, their poverty level is much higher than $300 a month. So
yeah, I mean,
there's those people that we're talking about that are making $300 a month. They don't have cars. A lot of them don't have cell phones. A lot of them.
They got cell phones. They got cell phones. They got internet. They got cell phones.
They have
and a
internet.
lot of
they don't have brand new iPhone 15s.
I agree with that. They're probably not using a brand new iPhone, but there's a lot of alternatives that are affordable locally that doesn't necessarily have to be an iPhone.
I know, but they're not not traveling the world.
I agree with that.
They do not have passports. They are very limited.
Some of them have passports. No, but let me clarify this.
I've been there. Go ahead.
I know, but let me clarify one thing. I would say, like,
even homeless have cell phones. Let's
say this.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's use a different example. All right, I think I was maybe a little bit too extreme. Let's say you have a man and a woman, they married. This is a family, and they have a kid. Let's say they make $1,500 to $1,700 a month between them.
Okay.
All right, $1,500 to $1,700 a month between them. I think that's a pretty good definition of a middle class family in today's 2024 China. $1,500 to $1,700 US a month between a husband and a wife.
Right.
And I would tell you that they drive a car, probably a domestic car, a locally made car, okay? Maybe not a Lexus, but they're driving a car. Maybe they're not going to Amsterdam. Maybe they're not going to Switzerland on vacation, but they're definitely going to other parts of China for vacation, maybe near where they live, maybe within like a 3-4 hour driving distance, but they're going on vacations. Maybe they're not coming to America for vacation, but that's a pretty big consumption base. That's a lot of consumption happening.
I agree with you. I'm also going to classify them as in poverty. If they can't get in a plane,
You think $1,500 a month is in poverty?
yes, 100%. In the world economy.
Nah, man, I don't agree with that. I think that's a very American centric way of looking. I respectfully disagree. Sir. I respectfully, no disrespect or anything.
And I
I
respect
don't agree with
your
that, man.
opinion.
I don't think $1,500 a month is poverty, man. No way. I don't think $1,500 a month is poverty.
If they turn
No
on
way,
the TV, if they listen, if they turn on the TV, right, and they see an
Right.
advertisement for Disney cruises, and they see
Okay.
Mickey Mouse, okay,
Right.
they know who Mickey Mouse is, and they're like,
Right, they do.
wow, they say to themselves, wouldn't it be nice if we could go on a Disney cruise with our family and not go to some? And the answer is absolutely no. There's zero chance they can afford that. Correct?
I agree. I agree.
So they're limited to doing anything that they're limited to people that are in poverty. They have the essential needs, and that's it. They can feed their family. They have a house.
Yeah.
They have transportation. They have internet.
Right.
They can travel to a neighboring town and maybe stay
Right.
with family or friends and not in a luxury. They can't stay at the Four Seasons Hotel in Beijing.
I agree with that. I
They
agree with
can't.
that.
They can't.
But that's not poverty, though. Just because you can't stay at the Four Seasons, don't mean you live in poverty.
Okay,
You
bad
can't go to
example on the
Disney.
Four Seasons.
You know what I'm saying?
But the
I
bottom
live a
line
pretty
is-
privileged life. I gotta tell you, I feel like you live a pretty privileged life, and I live a pretty privileged life as well. I think we both live a pretty privileged life, but I can't go out and say just because you can't stay at the Four Seasons don't mean that you live in poverty. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
To me, like
Right.
I feel like poverty is like you don't even know where your next meal comes from. You know what I'm saying? Like
Well, we
does
have
that
to
make
look-
sense? You know what I'm saying? That to me is poverty. I feel like $1,500 a month, you could eat well. You could have a lot of protein in your diet out here in China. Your kids can go to a nice school. Not you can get your kids can have nice clothes. Maybe it's not Abercrombie, maybe it's not Hollister, but it's it's nice warm clothes. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know what I mean?
I hear you. I think our lines are just in different places because I'm judging the poverty line with the world. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, can they? Somehow you got a turkey on you. Can they?
Yeah.
If they wanted to take a vacation outside their country for one time in their life, the answer is they can't do it. So they're very limited.
Nah, man, I disagree with that, man. I disagree. Nah, man, because they can go to Thailand, they can go to Cambodia, some of them can even go to Korea. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they could do it. They can't. I mean, it's probably hard to afford going to America or Switzerland.
They
These types of
can't do it.
expensive places.
The people from China that are making $1,500 a month, a family making $1,500 a month, is not going to South Korea with their whole family for a vacation. Absolutely not. South Korea is not cheap.
Man, man, I'm tell you something, man. I think you're very well informed, but I think you still have a little bit of a outdated view of what goes on here. I'm telling you, but let me
We're just talking about economics.
But let me tell you this though. Let me tell you this. I feel like, this is why I love having this conversation, because I just think that I love having this conversation, by the way. It's a great conversation. It's a very respectful conversation. My whole point in bringing this up was more like, it wasn't about, a comparison between the two countries. I was just like, I think the one point I really agree with you is like, this country has got a lot of wealthy people. They got a lot of wealthy people living here.
Great.
And there are a lot of, and they have placed assets all around the world, especially in America, in Canada.
I agree.
Right?
They're smart.
And it's like,
They're
very smart, right? And it's hard to do it, by the way. You know, there's capital controls in China.
You
If you
know,
want to buy a house in America, you can't just wire $1 million to America. There's
the
capital
Chinese government
control,
doesn't want that money leaving,
right?
but there's
So,
corruption
so
so
if,
they can get it out.
right. I mean, there's different ways of doing it, right?
Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
like it's just is as I'm walking around as an American, a lot of times you are amazed at certain things. You know, it's like the city that I live in. The city that I live in, okay? I live
Where
in
are you?
Shenzhen. I live in Shenzhen. Shenzhen, next to Hong Kong. Okay,
Hong
a
Kong.
city called Shenzhen. Okay. So the average salary in Shenzhen is $1,500 a month.
Okay, that's your middle
Okay.
class.
That's your middle class, right?
That's your
But it's
Chinese
one of the
middle
well,
class. Yes.
it's not right. But a nice apartment in Shenzhen,
Yeah.
like in a nice neighborhood, starts at $1.5 million
Okay.
US.
Great. So can they live there?
Okay, and I'm like, as I'm just walking around, and I'm like, who the fuck is buying this? And I'm not talking about like a small building, like
I
a small
understand.
neighborhood.
I
I'm
understand.
talking about an entire city.
I understand.
And it's like, and I tell this to my viewers who are watching me every day on TikTok, and I say, look at this neighborhood in Shenzhen, $2 million starting price. And they ask me, like, what's the salary? I said, $1,500 on average.
Yeah.
And I'm like, make this math work for me, where the salary is $1,500 a month on average, and an apartment starts at $1.5 million. And the nice apartments, like a 3-bedroom apartment in a nice area, those start at like $2 million.
Okay. I understand.
Okay, so I'm like, and it's like, and it makes you
seem
feel
like
like
you're
as an
leaning
American.
more towards my opinion now.
But yeah, but no, it's like, you know, as you're
You're
sitting here,
making
and
more.
you're like,
You're putting more in the bucket for my thoughts now.
well, I mean, but the thing is like the way I look at it as an American, I was like, this has to be a bubble. I was like, this has to be a bubble, but it's like a bubble that never bursts. It
It's not a
just,
bubble.
you know what I'm saying?
Not a bubble.
Right. I've come
Not a
to the
bubble.
conclusion it's not a bubble.
Not a bubble.
I have come to the same conclusion.
Not
It
a
is
bubble.
not a bubble.
What
You know
you
what I
have
mean?
is, because you have 1.4 billion people, right? And what I consider 80% of them are below a poverty line. What I consider. Listen,
No,
we
I
can-
wouldn't
we
agree
can
with
ar-
that.
We can table that argument, right? We can talk
Right, you keep
tomorrow.
going.
and
Right.
we can talk about that. Okay, but
Right.
but if you say it's half of the people and I say it's 80%, there's many people that are making less than $1,500. Okay, they can't
Right.
go to.
I agree.
I've been to Hong Kong. Hong Kong is
Right.
Hong Kong is like America.
I totally agree.
Okay,
I
it's
streamed
not
from
like
Hong
China.
Kong 2
I can
weeks
promise
ago.
you that.
I agree.
okay.
I told my audience Hong Kong is basically American prices, the exact same prices as like America.
It's,
Like, I
it's
agree
Chinese
completely.
people that really are closer to Americans than Chinese people.
I agree with that as well. I very much agree. I'm not going to get into details on it, but I agree with that.
Yeah, okay. But so we agree. We agree on everything except for where the poverty line is so far. But
Right.
that's okay. It's just, it's fine. And I guess I have bias the way I grew up and what I have, and it's hard to remove those bias. But the people in China can't go to Hong Kong and live and buy an apartment, right?
No.
So,
No.
but let's
Very
talk-
expensive.
Yeah,
Very expensive.
let's talk about the elite in China, right? So we have 1.4 billion or whatever number it might be. There's
Right.
let's say there's 50 million people in China that really have money. And that's about it. 50 million people that can leave China, buy boats, go on vacations, own factories, own businesses, makers. They can make things happen, right? They have jobs, the executives at banks, they're running factories, they are doing
Right.
import export, they are part of the government, they own real estate conglomerates, all these people. There's about 50 million people that run the country. And of the 50 million, there's definitely probably 1 million that are at the top, right? They're in the top 1% of China. That wealth needs to trickle down, and it's not. There's such a big variance between the top people in China and the bottom people. and ultimately with your popular, you mentioned that there's a popular, it seems like you have my guess is you have a concern that the population in China is going down. Like people from China, they pound their chest. We are 1.4 billion people strong. And the people in India are like, we're bigger than China now, right? There's like, but China's like, no, we're the biggest, right? And this is like a thing. Don't worry about how big you are. Not that important. It's really the quality of the people. It's the quality of the country. It's what the country's doing. That labor in 10 or 20 years from now with technology, that labor that China has will be obsolete. It'll be AI. It just will be.
Machine.
It will be. A machine will be making a machine. You agree?
Let me supplement on what you just said there, though. You know, I would argue that what you just said there is by design. You know, 40 years ago, the official policy was let some people get rich first.
Okay.
That was the official policy. Let some people get rich first. You know, a great man said that. I'm not going to say his name because he's too great. I'm not going to say, I respect him so much. I don't want to just utter his name all the time.
I don't
But
know.
he said,
Tell me.
let some people,
Educate me.
let some people get rich first. But I think what you're describing is like they got rich first, but they holding on to it. They ain't distributing. You know what I'm saying? That's human nature. That's how fucked up it is. That's human nature right there. You said I got rich. Oh yeah, it's by design. I got rich first, but I think I'm gonna hold on to this. I'm gonna hold on to this rock over here, man. I ain't passing the ball, man. I'm holding on to this. So, but everything you just said, I could say about America too, though.
Yeah, but
You know, but what I think is a little bit different from
course.
but you know what is a little bit different about America though, is like I will be fair because I love America and I love China too, but I think the biggest difference is like the middle class, even though people are always talking about how the middle class is shrinking in America, I still think the middle class is a very, very large part of the United States. I still think there's a lot of people out there in the United States that can go and be a mechanic and make a nice 85, 95, even $120,000 a year.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like I feel that's the like you know what I mean? Like you could and that doesn't require a college degree, right?
Nope.
Or you can go to
Electrician,
college and
whatever. Yeah.
right. You could go be an accountant and make a nice $88,000 a year. You could do so many. It's like we have such a depth of labor pool, different things that you could do that you can make a really nice living. Right. And this is just for working for other people. Like you could be a plumber, you could be an electrician. There's just so many different ways that if you're just willing to work, I just think that there's so much opportunity in America that can have you well entrenched as a middle class person.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
But it's hard to be a plumber and be considered. You know, it's hard to be a plumber in China and make, let alone 80,000. But like, it's hard to even make $1,500 a month as a plumber. Right, it's like but then again, you know, if you're a plumber, you make 85,000 a year. You know, you also spend a lot of money in America, right? Our cost of living is so much higher. So I don't know, man. It's just you know when I'm out here and I'm just observing all this, it just makes me feel like, man, it sure is good to be an American making U.S. dollars and spending Chinese yuan out here in China. That's a nice position to be in.
But
you know what I mean?
I understand what you're saying, but you actually are describing something that I think is very important for China that China doesn't have. So that those people that are not past high school education, that are plumbers and electricians and whatever
we respect
else
them.
they're doing, whatever
And we
hustle.
respect them.
What?
And we respect them. And we respect these folks because they're very important for society.
What I'm saying is the guy who's a plumber out here, you know what? He's probably making $100,000 a year. Some of them are making more, right? And he can save up enough money on the side and get a boat and a jet ski and take his kids out to the lake and do. He can take a vacation down to Mexico and party in Cabo San Lucas and blow off steam for 4 days and come back. And
I agree.
what I'm saying is the middle class. What you describe as the middle class in China and I paint them with the brush of poverty, is they can't do that.
I agree with you. I agree with you there, but you got
Well,
to
that's a
understand
big
that's an American.
economic
But that's
limit.
but this is where I think this is where you got to understand something though, Mark. Okay, this is where I'm going to make a very important point here.
Okay.
That's why I think is what I call the American centric view. Because you got to understand, we've been a wealthy country for a long time. To go to Cabo, to go and do these things has been ingrained in the American mindset for a long time because we've been rich for a long time. The idea of going on a Disney cruise or the idea of going to Cabo is not even in the mindset of a middle class person here because it was never available as an option 40, 50 years ago. Does that make sense? So for them, hold on, let me finish this. So for them, their idea of doing well in life isn't measured by the fact that I can go to Cabo or I can go to Disney. It's by the fact that 30 years ago, I wasn't able to have 12 pairs of shoes. But now my kids have actually 12 pairs of shoes. It doesn't cost a lot to get 12 pairs of shoes. He or she is not thinking about no Mickey Mouse Disney. They have a total different, their view is just different. So it's very bad when it's not very bad. I think we got to be very careful by thinking like we as Americans, because I like to go on cruises. I like to go on cruises with my family. We like to go to celebrity cruises.
Yeah.
But I can't use my logic and have my logic and have them and think that they're going to want the same. I can't basically assume that they want the same thing that I do. Even though celebrity sounds good to them as it would to me, a lot of them have different priorities. They want different things. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's what I think is the biggest difference. You know what I mean?
We've been talking about this subject for a while, but I like it, right? So I'm going to try to, and I think I can break something open right now in your mindset. Okay.
Okay.
You brought up the cruises. I like going on a cruise too. It's fun. You know, they feed you. You play miniature golf, whatever, and it takes you from city to city. You see some things. It's fun, right? Easy. Have you ever flown on a private jet?
I have never flown on a private jet before, not even close. Okay. I don't even fly first class for business. I fly economy.
Okay, no problem.
I'm frugal.
Me too. But
I'm frugal.
Okay, no problem. I have flown on private jets with friends as a guest.
Okay.
Wait a second. Now that I say it, can you envision? Have you seen a celebrity on a private jet on TV or whatever?
No. I will be honest. I have a couple of friends. I have one particular friend who has occasionally flown on a private jet. Occasionally.
Okay.
That's as close I've ever come. That's as close as I've ever come.
Okay. But my question to you is, on TV, in a movie, you've seen people on a private jet.
Yes, for sure. Yes.
You can envision what it is.
Yes. Okay. Yes, of course.
Let's just park that memory there for a moment. Let's park that vision there for a moment.
Okay.
If I said to you, Monkey Kang, hey, I'm going to pay for it. You're in LA, say, and I'm like, we're going to go to Vegas for the weekend. I got a comp suite. We're going to take a private jet. It's an hour flight. Let's go. Pack your bag. Let's go. Easy peasy. You get on the private jet. You're like, I like this. Or even thinking about it right now, you kind of like it. You're like, now I say to you, right? I don't know how old you are. How old are you?
I'm 34.
34. Great. So I say, listen, you can change your life in this business capacity and you can get to that. It's a nice thought for a moment. Now just park that. Keep these thoughts building in your head.
Okay.
An hour ago, you weren't envisioning being on this private jet and going to Vegas with me and getting a comp suite at the freaking Aria or whatever, right? But now you're envisioning it. So you made a reference that the people in China 40, 50 years ago they only wanted to get 12 pairs of shoes. Now they got 12 pairs of shoes. Now I'm envisioning the people in China they should be able to go on that celebrity cruise line, or this is not a private jet, right? This is just a $2,000 cruise for the week.
I got you.
But they should be able to. And I understand that flying on a private jet is the elite. I do understand that's the top 0.1 of the population or higher. But I do think going on a celebrity cruise, which you've been on, and you're saying, hey, you're not a gazillionaire, I do think that the majority of people in China should have those opportunities. And the fact that they don't is problematic. And that is ultimately where the country should be getting to, where most of the people in the country could buy a boat to go fishing, to go on a cruise, and not say, I have 12 pairs of shoes, therefore I have what I need. Yes, you have what you need. Those are the essentials to survive. A warm sweater, heat in your house, a refrigerator. But you're not really having the...
I get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying here.
I'm saying
I'm starting to
it would be
understand.
nice for the people in China to have these things available.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I was about to say something in response, but I feel like it's gonna come out sounding real bad.
No, say it.
Not towards you.
Say it.
I'm like,
say it.
I gotta be very honest with you, man. All right, hear me out on this, Mark.
Go ahead.
We Americans are so privileged. A lot of the things that we find to be very normal, a lot of the things that we find to be very regular, that a lot of regular folks can partake in reality, is a luxury of luxuries for most of the rest of the world. Let me give you an example, man. For example, to go to Kabul for 3 or 4 days, to a lot of Americans may seem like a very regular thing. To a lot of Americans, even if you make $4,000, $5,000 a month, even let's say you make $35,000, $4,000 a month in America, you save up for 4 or 5 months, you could afford that trip to Kabul.
You can.
You know what I'm saying? You could afford it. You might not be able to afford a cruise on Celebrity, but you could afford a cruise on Carnival. You know what I mean? You might not do a celebrity cruise.
I agree with you.
We could, so many things that are very, very accessible for Americans, unfortunately for the rest of the world, is not even close to being accessible. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because we Americans have been,
100%.
let me finish this. We Americans have been rich for so long. There's an entire ecosystem of things on this earth that just exist to serve Americans. Like the entire celebrity cruise company exists primarily to serve Americans. Like they literally have like 18 ships in their fleet, and their primary audience is like American citizens.
And European.
Maybe the like 80 and some European, but mostly Americans. Okay? Like we don't realize how good we have it until you go to other parts of the world and you see. So what I mean is like I just don't think it's possible for the entire earth to be able to access that same level of things that we find to be mundane and accessible. I just don't think this earth can handle it.
It's
No, hear me out on this.
Let's pivot the conversation.
If everybody in India and everybody in China started flying everywhere, the way that we Americans fly everywhere, this earth doesn't have enough fossil fuel to keep those planes in the sky. If everybody in India started taking 3 flights a day, okay, this earth is going to run out of fuel. You know what I'm saying? Like this earth is going to run out of fuel. You know what I'm just
until the fuel is solar or something else, sure.
I mean, you know what I mean? So it's just like,
Okay,
to me, man,
let me give you a future. Let me give you the future. Okay. We're gonna pivot the conversation a little bit. I'm gonna challenge you to envision a future. Okay. And let's just say, do you know who John Lennon is?
Of course I know who John Lennon is.
Hey, I'm older than you. I don't. It's different. He wrote a song. It's one of my favorite songs called "Imagine." Have you ever heard the song?
I have not heard the song, but please continue with your point.
It's one of his
I have
favorite
not heard the
songs.
song.
And inside the song, there's lyrics. And his song was written in like 1970, right? Or so the song, 72.
Okay.
It's like 50 years old, the song. I know that's
Okay.
like, oh my God, this guy's talking about this song from 1,000 years ago. But in there, there's lyrics. And part of the lyrics, are imagine there's no country, imagine there's no religion. And
Yeah.
so think about that for a moment. Just think and park that idea, right? So there's no country, there's just a world, right? There's not the Chinese people or the South Korean people or the Americans. It's just one world. So people are saying it's a beautiful song. It is a beautiful song. And I would encourage you to listen to the lyrics. It's a very, very well-written song. So we just have one world. And this is how I want you to imagine it. Imagine, you know who Elon Musk is, right?
Of course.
Okay. So Elon Musk talks about colonizing Mars, right? Which we're a long way off, but if we can think in 1,000 years in the future, maybe humans will be on another planet, right? Maybe. Okay. So imagine that you and me, 1,000 years or 100 years from now, we can colonize Mars, okay? And we start a new civilization on a different planet, but we start from scratch. And you go there, I go there, our families go there, scientists go there, doctors go there, people that are very important to colonize a planet. And we don't have countries, and we don't even have money, because we don't need money. What we need is to develop a civilization, right? We're in the future now, and we have a really advanced AI. We have AI that can go out in a field, right? Robots, and plant seeds. Let's just say they can make, a dome, and they can make an atmosphere and grow crops. So the AI is just going to grow the crops, right?
Okay.
You can envision this happening, correct? I just want to
Absolutely not. I think it's absolutely a bunch of rigmarole. But I'm listening though.
Okay.
I'm listening. Ain't no AI gonna work in the sun and grow crops for me. But please continue. I'm listening though. I'm listening.
Do you think?
I'm respectfully listening.
Okay.
I'm respectfully listening.
I'll take it back on Earth just for a moment. So say I get 100 acres in China, and I can build robots that have this dexterity better than you. And I send them out on the field with tractors. They drive. There's self-driving cars in my neighborhood now. And they go out and they plant the seeds. They grow the corn or wheat or whatever it is. They harvest it and put it, and then they send food out to everyone in China. You think that's possible or not possible?
Hell no.
Hell
no
no.
chance. Zero. Let me interrupt you for a second. Sir. Okay? Let me interrupt you for a second. I could start to understand where you're going with this. All right? I'm gonna say this out of love, Mark. Okay? Because I have a lot of respect for you. I'm gonna say I feel like you are the epitome of a lot of American mindset, which is we live in an era like we have so much abundance. You know what I'm saying? Our bellies are full. And like this John Lennon character, I'm gonna tell you, he makes what I ain't never heard of his music, but I know a lot of people love him and they love his music.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah, the Beatles, right? To me, to be honest with you, man, the shit that he writes about ain't never gonna happen. He grew up in privilege. He writes from a country of privilege. I need to send his ass out to northern India somewhere, and he need to go experience life over there, and then we're gonna see what kind of music he writing. Cause he be eating that bacon, he be eating that cheese, you know what I'm saying? He got that fat droozing out of his nose, you know what I'm saying? Then he be writing all that. We need to go send his ass. He well fed. We need to go see what kind of music he writing. But you know what I'm saying? So like I got nothing but love and respect for you. All I'm telling you is like I love my fellow Americans, but a lot of us is so coded in privilege. We are so coded in privilege. Okay, we need to like go out into the real world, and there is no AI that could substitute a hardworking farmer getting out in the field, irrigating his field, using the right fertilizer, right? Now there's machines that can help. DJI makes a lot of drones that can help make the fields have higher yield and stuff like that. I do agree with that.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, I just don't feel like there's no substitute whatsoever for human ingenuity and human hard work. I don't believe in none of this super AI bullshit. I don't believe in none of this. My whole thing is all about, you know what I mean? So it's like, all I'm trying to say is like, look, everything sounds good on paper. Idealistic world, everything sounds good on paper. Until we get to the real world and we see how everything is, I don't think it's very this whole, as far as this whole concept of no borders, no country. Yeah, you go tell that to the people in Russia. You go tell that to the people in Ukraine. Hey man, there ain't no border. There ain't no border, y'all. Why y'all fighting if there's no border? Right? We all the same. Shit, they speak the same language. They look the same. And they beating the hell out of each other. That's the reality of humanity. It's been the reality of humanity for millennium. And in my opinion, it'll forever be the reality of humanity. Anyone that thinks different, I think is just very idealistic. That's my way I look at it.
I'm talking about the future. I'm not talking about the immediate future. I'm talking about a new culture where there isn't countries, where there aren't borders, where
we gotta get another battle going. Let's get another battle going. Let's keep talking. We get another battle going.
We got it. Don't have your people not beat me in the battle. I had like a 6-game win streak coming into this.
You ain't gonna have no win streak no more when you battle me.
Why is that?
You're gonna have a losing streak because I have a lot of people.
I'll tell you what,
support my channel.
You are captivating, and this is the first time I've chatted with someone where I ignored my chat ever. I've only been on TikTok for 3 weeks, but I usually always. So I do apologize for ignoring the chat. A lot of people have written things and I didn't reply. So I am sorry about that. But, maybe we can beat this guy in a battle. He's all cocky at the beginning of the battle that he's going to win, but he did get like 12,000 points in the only battle I did with him. Freaking. But
maybe you will beat me this time. Maybe anything could happen.
Anything can happen. But I don't know how many people he has in his room, but he seems very confident that he wins every battle. He has
Terry, you should help me, Terry.
People. What?
I was talking to one of my viewers. I said, Terry, you should help me. Please keep going. Please.
No, don't.
Yeah, I was like, don't help him. You gotta help me.
He doesn't need help. He doesn't. I can see people joining his team as we go. It's like, join team. Why are people joining your team?
Because I work, after we get off this live stream, you should go and check out my channel. I make really good content. Like, I put a lot of effort into making good content. You should check it out.
That's my problem right now. My son, I post videos and my son laughs. He's like, the videos are freaking terrible. So I'm going to work on that one thing. That's the one thing I need to work on. I need to post content because when I'm on here, besides you and maybe like 5 people in 3 weeks, nobody can speak, right? And people
I feel the same way. You know how many people I had to cycle through before I got to you? You are the longest person. You are the person I've spoken to the longest since I started doing this. People can't have a conversation these days. It's frustrating.
It's very frustrating.
It's so frustrating. And that's why I'm telling you, I tell people this. I said, dog, man, you don't need, if you want to do well in this world, man, you don't need to have 3 arms or 4 legs. Just be able to fucking have a conversation with people and be likable, and you can go so far in life. You're right. A lot of young people these days, you can't even have a conversation with them. So many, ask my viewers, so many people I connect with them. I say, hey, man, you want to talk real quick? Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, Terry. He's like, no, let's battle right away. I'm like, dog, what the hell are you talking about, man? Let's have a conversation.
They can't. Okay, so you mentioned a word. You said you're frustrated. I said I was frustrated. I want to pull back the word frustration. Do you know what frustration is?
Now we ain't got to talk about frustration, but
we do. Just for a moment. Give me latitude for a moment. It's rhetorical anyway. Okay. Frustration is the lack of understanding. So you and I get frustrated because we match with people that can't have conversations. It's frustration. So if I say that 99% of the people out there, or 90% of the people out there, or the people out there that can have conversations aren't on TikTok, but the people on TikTok that can't have conversations is because they don't have the capability yet. And
Why do you come to TikTok? Real talk. Why do you go live on TikTok?
so I've been on
I'm
TikTok.
curious.
I will tell you. So 2 reasons. And there's probably a third reason that's creeping in. So I've been in a relationship with someone for 7 years. We just broke up 3 weeks ago, and it gave me something to do.
Oh, I see. Sorry to hear that.
Oh, thank you. But it was my request to have her move out. So I'm happy the way things are right now. And the second reason, my son's on TikTok every day, like scrolling and looking at things. And I'm like, I could be a TikToker in a second. I'm listening to the crap that people are talking about. The kids are like, and they open a door and close it and put some ketchup on their face or eat mayonnaise. I'm like, that's freaking terrible entertainment. Terrible. But if that's popular, I can do better. I know I can do better than that. Right. I have a lot more creativity, a lot more articulation. I feel like the aptitude on these people is like a 0. So I'm like, I can do it. Like, the unfortunate thing is you have to spend 1,000 hours on here to actually do it. So I don't know if I'm actually going to spend 1,000 hours on here to do that. But it was just kind of like, so now I have like 2,000 followers organically. And I don't know how much more I can do unless I do videos, right? The only way I feel that to grow is to do videos, because it's too hard, right? It's to interact with one person at a time to get 1 follower, 2 followers is taking too long. Oh, you only got 3,000. I could have beat you if I had some people in here. If you could have lost that streak, it could have happened. You didn't get 112,000.
Everybody. I appreciate you, everybody. Well, if you would have been a little bit more competitive, maybe I would have gotten more 3,000 points. I think they just saw you had that 40. You know, you had that 40 piece and it wasn't moving. So my people were probably like, we don't really need to do anything anymore. You know what I mean?
You're right. Okay.
Right.
So you're right. When you're right, I will. But my chat is saying great conversation. So, you know, sometimes it is about the reward of the conversation. And I do have a relief to chat with you that if I press the button and I'm going to connect with somebody in Pakistan, and it's going to be like, I'm pulling you're spitting your water out. And I'm not stereotyping the people there, but it's hard to do this for me. It's a challenge and it's not rewarding. So I just delete it now. You know, I don't even go 1 second. It's just, it doesn't matter to me. My time is the most valuable thing.
He said Pakistan because that's all I've been getting this morning. Is Pakistan, but you please keep going. All I've been getting is I got nothing but love for Pakistan.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Let them.
Well, what I want to know
prosper.
is why is the filter on their phone so pale? What kind of universally government issued phone is they using that uses the same filter that's very, very pale?
Thanks,
Everything look pale. The house look pale. The person look pale. Everything look pale. What's going on over here?
We're going to battle again, and I'm going to talk to the chat, and I'm going to be a little bit more harsh on MoneyKang. So don't take it the wrong way, but we're going to have a battle.
You want to battle again, man? You got a 40 piece, man. I don't want to do this again if you just going to have another 40 piece, man.
I'm not going to try. I didn't even talk to one person in the chat because I've been talking to you the whole time. So I'm going to talk to my chat as we go. If I get
all right, man, let's wait for a second. Let's just chat for a little bit more before we battle again. Let's chat for a little bit. Let me ask you a question, man. Do you still work? You still got to work?
No, I'm retired.
Oh, you tired? You just chilling?
We're chilling,
man.
Living life.
You living life. I love it, man. Hey, let me ask you this. I am younger than you.
Yeah.
What advice would you have for me as a younger man, you know, in life, you know, if I want to get to where I want to be? What are some things, some wisdom for your life? Because you obviously look like a very successful individual. You know what I'm saying? I can't say I agree with all the things that you say, but I could see that, like, materialistically, financially, you're successful. So what would you say, what would you pass as some of the wisdom, some of the advice to the younger generation, someone like me? What would you say?
Okay. The first thing, I do have 2 things. And the fact that you asked that question right now tells me that you are incredibly smart. because when you're speaking with someone that's say 20 years older than you, and I'm 20 years older than you, you could, in 20 years from now, when you're 54, you're going to say, hey, what could have I done when I was 34 to really change the trajectory of my life for
Right.
giving me more things that I want, right? So listening to people that are older, that are wiser, and understanding that they can be smarter, even though they might have grown up in a different time, they still do know things. It's called wisdom, right? You're talking about Chinese people that have a lot. Anyway, let's go into the advice. Sorry, sometimes I go down a pothole with that stuff. Number
All
one,
good.
you're young enough. You're almost approaching the time when this advice is not going to be applicable. So this advice is applicable for people between 20 to the upper 30s. Okay, this advice is, so you probably have people that are, so share this advice. Risk everything. 2 words, and let's elaborate. If you're worried about failing, don't be. If you have an endeavor that you in your heart think it's right, let's say somebody says, hey, MonkeyKang, let's start a car wash. And you're like, you know what? I think I know how to run a good car wash. And you have a good plan in place, risk everything. Do it. Because you're going to fail maybe 90% of the time on these businesses. But the 10% that you succeed is going to change your life. Okay? By risking less, you have no upside. You can steady the course, you can go up slowly. Maybe if you hit the lottery, and the lottery is figuratively, it could be anything, it doesn't have to be an actual lottery, all of a sudden you can spike up financially. But it's less chance that you hit the lottery than you hit the 10% chance on risk. So I can elaborate on that, but that's the first advice. The second advice,
Risk everything. I heard
risk
you.
everything.
Risk everything.
Yeah, because
Okay.
at a certain point in your life, you're going to have a lot, and to risk everything is going to be too much, right?
Right.
Like I have a decent amount, right? I'm retired in my 50s. I'm not going to risk everything, right? I'm not going to say how much, but I'm not going to take everything and throw it into Tesla stock on the Trump election and hope it goes up 20%. Now, did I risk something? Yes. And did it turn out? Yes. Turned out great. Like I made more money in a week than, forget about how much. But so the first advice is risk everything. Don't be hesitant right now. In a few years from now, that advice is going to go away. The second advice is, and I think you already have this, but I want to reinforce it so you can spread it if you want, is learn how to listen better.
Learn how to listen better.
Yes.
Okay.
This is something that I couldn't develop when I was younger. If you go into say it's a board meeting and there's people around and it's a business and people are talking about their ideas and whatever, and you have a lot to say. You're a very smart guy and you're articulate too. So not only are you smart, not only do you have good ideas, but you can speak well. So that's going to give you a strong confidence to say something, right? You're proving yourself. Listen, I can get right in there, da, 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 da. And then it's impressive to the people there and you feel good about yourself. You're like, hey, I proved myself. I gained their respect. That will be a mistake in life. And I didn't learn this until later in life. Until I got into
How old were you when you learned it?
I started learning this in my 30s and I started developing that trait where it sounds so easy. It was so hard. Listen more than you speak. People can do that in 1 second. You just shut up, right? But it's hard when you feel that you're the smarter person in the room, when you have better ideas than the people that are telling you their ideas. So there's tactics and ways to do this. Get a notepad, take notes, write. If there's 6 people in the meeting, and write their names. Start writing and summarizing the things that they're talking about. Get all the ideas down. Don't worry about their ideas passing you by. Don't worry about interjecting. Listen to everything, and then your ideas and what you say is going to be that much stronger. And
how to listen better. I got
I don't
you.
know if that's powerful to you now, but I promise you in years from now, you'd be like, that was really good, because it will change. It will change your entire conversation in an hour conversation. And I can demonstrate it with you right now if you want me to do a demonstration.
Demonstrate what?
How to listen. Because in this format, it's very hard to like listen because it's not engaging, but I can try, I can do it. Okay. And if there was an AI counting the words, I'll do it for like a minute and we'll see how it goes. Okay. Are you ready?
Okay.
Have you ever thought about starting a business?
I've started a business before. I've done it before.
Tell me about it.
So when I was in college, I used to be, I'm not gonna say what it is, but I used to be in the wholesale business. And the reason why I was successful at it is because I actually really liked the things that I was working with. It developed more out of passion than a desire for, does that make sense? Like it started out as purely a hobby. Then I saw a business opportunity and then it just kind of went from there. So that was one of the things I always learned about my life in general, which is I should try to do things that I'm actually interested in and that I could be passionate about because it will be sustainable long term. And this is why I do the things I do on TikTok, which is I make history videos because I've always loved history. I've always loved history as a young kid. I never studied it in college because people don't think it's a very profitable major. So I never studied history in college. But now I'm doing what I enjoy doing. I make videos about history and people like it. And this is what I do on TikTok and I really enjoy it. This is why I have so many people who watch me. This is why we have 100,000 likes on the screen right now. People tapping on the screen, sharing and giving us love because they could tell that I love what I do and I do a good job at it.
Excellent. If we talked about the business versus making the history videos now, what's the difference
Yeah.
of the business you started and this now?
Well, the business I started, man, I kind of outgrew it. I outgrew it. You know, it was something that I enjoyed doing in my early 20s. But I felt like, for me, I felt like I went to Carolina. I went to UNC Chapel Hill.
Great.
So I was like, you know, I went to a pretty decent school, and I was like, you know, I have a degree. And the biggest reason why I left that business, when I say I outgrew it, was the deeper I got into it, the more I started to see the people I was working with every day, not my coworkers, because I was a business, but my counterparties. My counterparties, I kind of realized like the lifestyle that they had wasn't exactly what I wanted for myself long term. So I decided to pivot and I decided, you know what, I need to go get an advanced degree and try out corporate America, see if that's something that I wanted, which is what I did. So I kind of outgrew the business and I never continued with that. But the biggest difference between what I'm doing then versus what I was doing now is I actually enjoy the people that I get to see every day doing what I do, because the people I see on TikTok are overwhelmingly very supportive and they're good people. They're good people. Like they just real good people. And I enjoy doing this because to be honest, man, some days I don't really feel like getting up and streaming. Like there are some days I wake up and I don't really feel like streaming.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Of course.
I do it because I like the people that I do it for. That's probably the only reason. Because I could be doing other things right now, and I could make just as much, if not more, than what I'm doing right now on TikTok. So, to answer your question, I think the biggest difference now is I actually enjoy the people a lot more that I'm doing this for, versus before in my last business. I enjoy the customers, but I didn't enjoy working with my counterparties on the sourcing side as much as I enjoyed my customers. And unfortunately, you need those counterparties in order to survive because you need product,
Of course.
right? So that's kind of that summarizes that summarizes how I feel.
So thank you for sharing that. That really gives me some insight about you. What other item fuels you?
Man, that's simple, man.
Tell me.
Biggest thing is I wanna find my purpose in life. I'm blessed enough to be in a position where it's like, a lot of people gotta go and do. I don't want to sound condescending when I say this, man, but it's like I'm at a point in my life now where it's like I can go and find my purpose without worrying about starving. Does that make sense? Like,
Absolutely.
so that's what I want. I want to reach my greatest potential and find what I'm supposed to do in this world. Because I feel like I was born to do a certain thing. Maybe it's to make history come to life. Maybe it's to make good documentaries. Whatever it is, right? I don't know. I'm still looking for it. I'm trying to find out what it is, and that's what I'm doing right now with my life. Is just trying to figure it out. But
So if you had a business opportunity to do some type of history documentary, right? I live in LA.
Right.
Say I'm like, hey, I'm going to introduce you to somebody. Just set up a meeting, you go. What part of history do you think you would be most interested in?
oh man, it's so easy to answer that because our channel is already successful.
I've
We
never
gotta-
seen you before, so I don't know your channel.
Yeah, our channel is already. See, when you went to the Terracotta Warriors in
Yes, I did.
Xi'an, right?
Oh,
See, that stuff to me is, as someone who loves history, that's basic stuff. That's entry level stuff. That's like everybody goes there.
okay.
What I want to make is the esoteric stuff, but to make it come to life in a way that people can understand. And because the esoteric stuff is sometimes a lot more interesting, the stuff that very few people have heard of, the places that very few people have been to. That's the type of stuff I really like. I want to get, like, one of my wildest dreams, the city that you went to, Xi'an. I want to go with a team of people that work with me, and we want to go and get like 10 camels, like actual camels, and we want to recreate the ancient Silk Road, because the ancient Silk Road started in Xi'an. Like, we want to make a Netflix docuseries where we recreate the ancient Silk Road on the backs of 12 camels, and we go from Xi'an to India to Kazakhstan. We just do what the old Silk Road was like, and we just travel all along, and we make content along the way for all the cities, all the towns that we go to, and that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Like, these are things, like, I have so many dreams, and that's why, like, right now I feel like all those dreams are getting further and further within reach because
Maybe-
of the fact that the channel has gotten successful, because people like to watch the content that I make. I feel like they're within reach. So,
Of course they are.
like I said,
They are. They're
So that's-
closer now. Okay. Let's pause in the story for a moment, if I could. Could we? Okay. I'm gonna draw a circle for you. The beginning of the circle was you asked me the two pieces, the advice, and I said the first thing was risk, and the second thing was listen. And I said about 5 minutes ago, I'm going to demonstrate the second thing. So in the
Right.
last 5 minutes, how much did I learn about you?
you learned a lot.
I learned a lot. Did I demonstrate good listening?
Absolutely.
Was I part of the conversation?
Yeah.
Who was the
You
bigger
listened.
part? Watch this. This is a big question for you. Who was the bigger part of the conversation, you or me?
I mean, honestly, I feel like I was, because I said a lot about myself. Okay.
In this case,
I'm
you're
being
going
honest,
to
man.
be wrong, and I'm going to tell you why. You were the bigger piece by far. You spoke 98% of the time. I spoke 2% of the time.
Right.
And maybe we listened equally, but I controlled the entire conversation.
You did. Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's right.
So I'm the bigger piece, right? If I wanted to talk about world hunger, we would have. If I wanted to talk about your dreams, we did. If I wanted to talk about whatever, I was in control. I know that it's hard to think about, but I was. Even though you were the speaker. So in this case, right, you asked about the advice. In this case, you can see how the person listening could be the stronger person in the conversation. And this is the advice that you can take for the next 20 years and use to your advantage to get that dream you want. If you want that documentary with Netflix, if that's where you want to be and you're 1 inch closer now, maybe you're 2 inches closer now or a mile closer. And as you go in life, if you use this skill called listening, it will help you.
I hear you, man. I need to become a better listener. Like even before you say, even before I met you, I always felt like I need to become a better listener. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I need to become a better listener.
I've been working on it. I still am working on it. It's hard.
In what way? Can I ask you some other questions though? Because I love to hear wisdom from folks that are older than me, that are more successful. Like I soak all this stuff in, man.
Soak it in.
Like, you feel like, you know, you say you have kids, right? And you also say that you have one kid, right?
Yeah.
So you also say that you just broke up a few weeks ago, right? So I would assume you are divorced.
No, I wasn't married to that girl.
Oh, you were never married. Okay.
No.
My question is like, okay, so I guess my question is, from a relationship perspective,
Yeah.
how would you, as a man who is much older than me, how would you advise on relationships because I feel like that's a very important life decision to find a person, whether it's a man or a woman you want to be with. Like, what's your criteria for evaluating relationships or who you want to be with?
I'm going to answer. I have a very good friend text to me, so just give me like 10 seconds.
All right, go. So I'm trying to get some wisdom from this guy, y'all. I'm trying to get some wisdom, everybody.
It's okay. It's nothing time sensitive. All right. So now we're pivoting again to relationships. All right. I personally have gone after people, and I think this is a stereotype for men, or at least for the guys I'm friends with. I go after the girls I'm very attracted to physically. Okay, that's what I've done when I was younger. I've done it, and I can't help it. It's in the DNA. I see someone I'm attracted to, and that just was so important to me. And it wasn't for social status or anything like that. I just liked being with girls I'm attracted to. And I won't go into any more details sexually or anything like that. And slowly but surely, it's slightly a mistake, or it is a mistake. Like it's a balance, and looking at what the other party, it could be another guy, I don't know if you're gay or not, but whoever you're going to be with.
I am not.
He's making that clear. He's not. Okay.
Yeah, I have nothing. I respect everybody, but I am a hetero. I'm a hetero. But,
Good.
okay, please continue.
So, I mean, because this topic could be hours. I mean, the basic thing is let's have some balance. Let's ultimately, if I have to make it very simple, like you did with the advice, just listen. Very easy advice, and then you can find someone that you like talking to. Find a friend. Like, okay, if you enjoy this conversation that we're having, maybe, yes.
Yes, absolutely. I enjoy it.
So
Absolutely.
find this in the girl. Whatever this is that we're having a conversation, like, hey, if you were in LA and I'm like, hey, Con, do you want to go to lunch over in Santa Monica? We'll get a cup of coffee or whatever and just talk some more. We like to play chess. Maybe we'll set up a chess game, put our feet up. We'll be at the beach and check things out and enjoy life for the afternoon. You would say yes, and we go and hang out. Make sure that, however you depict that, is in the girl that you want to raise a family with and be with. Now, other people are going to say, make sure your religion matches up. Make sure your financial matches up. Make sure your families get along. Make sure you have the same ambition in regards to life, right? Because people grow in different directions. But at the core of everything, spending time is what you're going to do the most of. So enjoy your time with that person. Because if you find someone that you don't enjoy the time with, life is going to suck. And if you have a family, those other things that I said are very important. Education, you don't want to have disagreements. Oh, I want to send my son to private school. Oh, I want to send him to public school so he can get that experience, right? And you're like, oh, this guy's, now you're going to really paint me with the privilege thing, right? So, so really, there's a lot of things on the list, like religion and economic status and all those things. But I think the core of everything is somebody that you enjoy spending time with, because everything else will be easier. Good communication styles, someone that is a good listener, all these things are on one list, but the absolute shortest list is someone that you enjoy spending time with. Because in all my relationships, the people I love the most were the people I loved spending time with. And you don't have to have similar likes. Do you play any sports for
I
fun?
used to play basketball. I used to play basketball for fun.
Great. So you play basketball. Don't ever
I
have the
was, I
thought.
was, I was trash, but I played basketball.
Great. You like being outside. Doesn't matter.
Yes.
It's active. It's a team sport. Don't ever like, oh, only if my girlfriend could play basketball with me. Who cares, right? What other things besides sports do you like? You like history, but what about like traveling or activities? Hiking? Is there anything you like?
Yeah, I got a problem, man. I like women too much. That's my problem. I love women. I love the females. I
Me
love
too.
it. I love. Yeah, that's my problem. That's my hobby in life. Women.
Yeah, but that's not a
That's
problem.
you know what I'm saying. That's a
Listen,
problem. Oh, it's a
that's
problem.
not
All
a
right, it's a
problem.
big problem.
Not a
It's a
problem.
big problem.
Not a
It's been a
problem.
problem for me. I love them too much. I love too many of them, and you know this has been a problem. Oh, problem, big problem. You know, man, I'm a dog. I got that dog in me, you know, and it's causing me
It's not a
problems.
problem. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. It isn't. It isn't.
And no, I'm not trying to be joking. I'm not trying to joke around or anything, but it's like I'm a dog that like pees on one light pole,
Yes.
and then I see the next light pole, and I want to pee on that one, and then I see a fire hydrant, and I want to pee on that one.
So
You know what I
that's
mean?
okay.
Like it's not good. It's
That's
bad.
okay. It's okay.
Very bad.
It's okay. It's okay.
That's
It's
very
okay.
bad.
You know why? Because that's the DNA that's in you.
Yeah. Well, women tend not to like that.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But it's still okay. Right? It is. Just be honest. Just date a different girl every month or 3 months.
No, man, no. I got to get it out of my system. I got to find that one. I got to find that one that'll get me on a leash. I got to
Okay.
find that one that's gonna get me
Okay.
on a leash and like and neuter me or something, or like get them dog instincts out of me. That's what I'm looking for.
The instincts aren't going to leave.
Oh, yeah,
What
well,
you're going to have to do is go and find a girl that could. I'm going to describe it for you, okay? Because one of my friends that's texting me and calling me right now, he is very successful, okay? Very successful financially, like top 0.0001. Okay.
okay.
I'll probably go to his house tomorrow and I'll do a live feed from his house. You'll see his house. He lives in Beverly Hills, mansion overlooking the entire, all the way to the ocean. He has a new girlfriend, and he says similar things to you. Okay, he's older than me, but at the end of the day, he's dating a girl, and he goes, Mark, he's dating a girl that's allowing him to look and be a dog, but he's not hooking up with other girls. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but she's not judging him for being like still thinking like a dog, what you describe as a dog, right? We're just saying like, you know, the girl's in a hot, walks by in a bikini, you're like, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's, you can't stop that instinct and you shouldn't have to. But she's probably not going to be okay with you, being with two other girls or something. Well, so find the girl that's secure, that could keep you on a leash, but keeping you on a leash is letting you go so far, letting you flirt still, letting you look still, and that'll be enough for you. It
Right.
will be. If the girl if you have good chemistry and your partner is fulfilling you, it will be enough to look and flirt and not act per se.
I hope that's the case. I hope
You
that's
will.
the case.
You
Well,
will.
I tell you what, Mark. We need to. We gotta do this again. It's late out here in China. I'm about to go to sleep, but we gotta one last battle, and then we gotta find a way to. We gotta find a way to connect again. You follow me? Did you follow me?
I followed. Did you follow me?
I
You
gotta
only
follow
have
you.
91 people you
I don't like to
follow.
follow a lot of people. I don't like to follow a lot of people, but I'm
I'm
gonna
going to
follow you.
unfollow
Okay?
you then. You're going to
Nah,
follow me.
follow me.
It's a two-way street.
Nah, I'm gonna follow you. I'm gonna follow you, man. I'm gonna follow you. I got you. I got
Okay.
you.
So, all
You
right.
gotta
One
promise
battle.
me. You gotta
Listen,
promise me you gonna check. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll check out your stuff. I will because
Yeah, you gotta go check out my stuff.
You took information from me, and I have a deficiency. I don't know how to make a video that's good. So next conversation, you're going to help me. You're going to give me 5 minutes of your knowledge on, like, just steer me in the right direction on how to make better content, because my son is.
Why do you want to do this though? Why you want to do this though, Mark? If you don't mind me asking, like, why you want to do this? Because I feel like your life is very comfortable. It don't seem like you really need a lot. Why do you want to do this?
I like to do things well. So if I'm going to post content, I don't like to be made fun of by
Okay, well, why do you want to post content? Why do you want to post content to begin with? It can't really be because your son is on it every day, right?
No,
like you
that's
say,
not the reason. I'm sharing it
why
with
do you
people,
want to
right?
post content?
I'm sharing it with my friends as an experiment, to be honest with you. I'm seeing how something works. So TikTok, I don't know if you know all the numbers with TikTok, but TikTok's doing like 500 million a day, right? They're the most successful social media company in the world today. They are.
Yeah.
Ahead of Instagram, ahead of Google, ahead of Yahoo, ahead of Snapchat, whatever.
Right.
And the people that run in TikTok are very smart. And to me, it's very interesting on the business side that TikTok is starting their TikTok shop. Well, their TikTok shop, it's almost ready to compete against Amazon. And Amazon is the biggest in the world, right? So, and I always thought up until 3 weeks ago that it's going to be so hard to displace Amazon. Really, really difficult. Because Amazon has done, what's that?
How do you feel now? You change your mind?
I'm changing my mind. So TikTok has opened up my mind to how a company can displace a larger company like Amazon, who's doing everything right. When I thought Amazon was doing everything right, now I'm actually thinking there's a crack in the door and TikTok could come through.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
This battle? Did we battle? I don't even know if we started the battle. No.
We could battle at the end. We could battle as a way to wrap it up.
I saw a chicken go on your head. I thought we did a battle. I didn't even notice if we did. Yeah, that's fine. So there is a crack in the door where TikTok can come through. And not only, and so TikTok has some huge things. They have 1 million people online at every second, right? Be it in China or wherever. And I understand a lot of what they're doing. Like there's a lot of pockets in the Middle East, in South America, in Europe, in North America, in China. There's pockets of people on TikTok all over the place. The aggregate is like 1 million people online. That's very powerful. When you have 1 million people online, when you have me, Mark, online for 2 hours this morning on this platform and not a different platform, that's powerful. It's very powerful because at I order probably $20,000 of items on Amazon a year, personally.
Yeah, you buy a lot of shit.
I buy a
You
lot
buy
of
a lot
shit.
of stuff.
I buy a lot of shit. I buy a washer and dryer. I buy everything. I don't care.
Are you buying anything from TikTok Shop?
Yes,
You starting to buy things from TikTok Shop now, huh?
I am. Only because I see it as a better value in some cases. So
Yeah.
if me, the American consumer, the European consumer, the people that are consuming goods in the world start seeing a value to TikTok over Amazon, Amazon has a problem.
Do you use Temu? Temu?
Timu? No, I don't.
Temu?
I didn't
You don't
use
use that?
TikTok until 3 weeks ago.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
So, but there are
My dad uses Temu. My dad started using Temu. I said, Dad, man, why you be using that shit? He said, man, they got some cheap ass shit on there. I was like, what? I was like, okay, but why do you need to buy cheap ass shit for your house for? Why do you need to buy this stuff? But my dad is like, you need to. My dad is like, they got good quality stuff out there. He's like, they actually have some good stuff. So my mind is being changed as well, because the parent company for Temu is a Chinese company called Pinduoduo PDD.
Okay.
And I never use Pinduoduo for anything in China.
Okay.
I don't even have their app. I don't use their app. I buy everything in China on the Chinese version of Amazon called Jingdong, JD. JD is a publicly listed company in America. You can buy it on the New York Stock Exchange.
Perfect.
I buy everything on JD. So I don't use PDD for anything. But I gotta tell you, man, I'm starting to change my mind a little bit. If I come back to America, I might not be able to afford Amazon. I might have to get on that Temu. I might have to get on that Temu. You know what I'm saying?
So for the first time in like the last 5 or 7 years, there are cracks in the windows and the doors, and competitors.
Right. They got good stuff. They got good stuff.
There's still a big gap on fulfillment, right? But because Amazon can fulfill like that. Mark, you just kept top 100 TikTok guy, #1 rank engaged for 2 hours. What's that? Mark, you just kept top 100 TikTok guy. You're a top 100 guy on TikTok?
Yes, I'm number 78.
Really?
Yes.
Whatever that means. Someone just wrote in my chat. I haven't been reading my chat, but I don't know what top 100 means anyway. But evidently some people care. So congratulations.
I'm not the biggest. I'm nowhere. I'm a small fish, but I think I make decent content. You can go check it out afterwards.
Well, you're going to help me with that at another time.
All
you
right.
give me 5 minutes.
I got you.
I
I give you 50 minutes. I give you 50 minutes. We ain't got to be 5 minutes, man. Shit, I ain't no 5-minute man. I'm a 50-minute man.
That's what you tell the girls.
I tell you that. And I deliver on it too.
No problem. All you do is have to give me advice. So you don't have to do anything. You're like, Mark, make just make it more concise or longer. All I want is like guidance, because I'm like a child on making the videos. I'm not a video editor. My son can edit pretty well, but I need to tell him what to do. So he's very good on the technical side. But the door is open for people to come in and take Amazon's business. And I knew that always can happen, but I didn't see how somebody was going to, like, I understand
It's
Amazon.
happening.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah, it's happening, but Amazon still has huge advantages, right? They have incredible return policies. They have incredible, these are the advantages they have over TikTok right now. Number one, fulfillment. You can get a product in less than 20 hours.
Yes. That's right.
Nobody can do that because they don't have the infrastructure. But TikTok's got money. With money, you can build infrastructure. So TikTok could catch up if they understand fulfillment. The TikTok's still they're lacking on, but they think they get it. The people in China that are running TikTok get it. They're really lacking on reviews. Reviews are very, very important. Right. So if I want to buy a mug and there's 10,000 reviews, and there's an AI summarizing that for me now and saying that mug is not as good as you think it is, I'm like, I'm not buying it, right? If everyone on there is like, I bought, there's 9,000 of them purchased, and everyone's like, it's freaking good, and I buy it, it's good. You can't manipulate 10,000 reviews. It's just very difficult because Amazon understands AI very well. So TikTok doesn't have that right now. So I bought as an experiment. You asked me, why am I on TikTok? as an experiment, I told my son, I'll pick a whole bunch of stuff out. And he did. And I bought maybe like 13 items in one order just to see, right? Some items, my son's like, oh, look, this stand to hold your iPad or phone is $3. I'm like, that's so much cheaper than Amazon. But the word was cheaper, not a better value. So I bought it. It's a piece of garbage. And
A piece of trash.
it's a piece
It wasn't good.
you know, it's just flimsy. It's not as good. There was no reviews. I just bought it because it was $2.97. And I've already thrown it out. But somebody, like not you, but somebody on the other side of that I matched with is like, just go on the email and hit return. Tell them you want to return it. I'm like, I'm not returning something for $3. It's not worth my time to go down to a UPS store and return something for $3. It's just easier to throw it out. And you know, that's going in the bucket of me being privileged, but I'm being transparent. So I go on there just for the fun of it because I'm doing an experiment, and I want to return it just to see the process. And you know what they told me, which you probably can guess?
Super Dave said Daniel Wood. What did they tell you?
Keep it. We'll credit
Yeah,
you
they
back
said keep it.
$2.
Yeah, just keep it. Right.
Let's keep it.
Yeah.
So I feel that they actually took a better run at customer service than Amazon.
Right.
In that regard.
I agree.
Yeah. Are you reading? You can read your text. I haven't read the chat at all, other than I know it's hard sometimes to keep the conversation and read the chat. And if you don't read the chat, then people are like offended because they're.
I mean, I gotta tell you this. I don't want to give out too many details, man. But you essentially talking. That's my line of work. You know, everything you just described, and this is what I used to do for a living. I know this like the back of my hand. Like before I started doing this TikTok, that was my job. I ain't gonna say anything more, so we could talk more. We will talk more. But the concession rate, you know, all the stuff, like just keep it. That all gets baked in. They have internal projections on what they think the return rates will be. They probably think we're gonna have 30% return rate. Yeah, they'll just keep it. We'll lose the money. We'll lose the money on the shipping. We'll lose the money on the original COGS, the cost of goods sold, and we'll bake that into the cost of the product, and we'll still come out ahead. And the way that these companies are being subsidized, people don't even understand. A lot of American consumers don't understand. An iPad stand is not supposed to cost just $3. The cost for that product being sold from the producer to go to, let's say, a Temu or Amazon or a TikTok shop is a lot of times higher than what they're selling it for. Temu is losing money on purpose.
I understand.
Temu is selling you things for less than they are buying it from the vendor for.
I understand.
Because they want to capture the market.
Yeah, exactly.
So there are really good deals that can be had on Temu.
Yeah.
Loss leader, exactly. So it's like that's my old line of work. I know this like the back of my hand. This is what I used to do for a living, like for real. So it's like, go ahead.
Yeah, no. Case in point, I'm a consumer. If one company wants to be a loss leader and give me the exact same product that I'll take it.
I gotta buy it. I gotta buy it. Exactly. I gotta buy it.
Yeah.
And they're counting on you to think that way. They're counting on you to think that way.
I'm
But
going
you know,
to be
I will say one last thing. I will say one last thing about that topic though.
Yeah.
Temu's got a lot of problems that they're dealing with out here in China. They have, I don't want to say a lot, but they have quite a few vendors that are very unhappy with the way that the relationship is being managed. Because they feel like, well, first of all, Temu's losing a lot of money. Like, let's just make this clear. Temu is losing money. They are not profitable at all. They're losing a lot of money. And when you are in a state where you're losing a lot of money, you try to claw that back by being very tough on your vendors. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to claw it all back, but you try to claw back a little bit of it by being very tough on your vendors. So you hit them on all types of different charges that you hit them with. For example, if your concession rate is too high, we agreed on 30%, you are at 35%, we're going to hit you with some extra charges. Okay? So they hit them with a lot of things, and a lot of vendors are actually very, very unhappy with this relationship right now. There's quite a few vendors in China that are very unhappy with that relationship. I'm pretty sure some people are making money, but my gut feeling is that the Temu vendors that work with Temu, they're probably not swimming in money. They probably have a lot of top line. They probably have a lot of revenue, but their bottom line doesn't look that pretty. That's my gut feeling, and I would imagine some of them are probably just breaking even, and their mindset is probably I want to grow with Temu along because Temu as it goes, I'm willing to break even with Temu on the count that one day they'll get big enough that I can be profitable and I can still be sizable one day. That's my gut feeling. That's my
Your
gut
gut
feeling
feeling
towards the.
is exactly my opinion. You're 100% on target with this. To me, the respect I have for your mind now has grown because you're all
I
right.
know what I'm talking about.
You do know.
I know what I'm talking about.
You do.
Yeah,
I
let's
call
have
BS
one last battle, man. I need to go to sleep. We go one last battle to end this week, and I need to go to bed. And I think you're gonna take an L on this. I think you're gonna take an L on this again.
I didn't talk
But
to
it was
any of my
nice talking to you,
people.
man. It was very nice talking to you. It was
It
very
was
nice
nice
talking,
too.
man. My people be telling me you be wearing a wig, man. What's up? What's that all about, man? They be checking out your page. They say you wear a wig,
No. What are you talking about?
man. You got nice hair. You got nice hair, my man. Thank you, Hyotu. You got nice hair for a man in your 50s.
Thank you. Who's saying I have a
got
wig?
nice hair.
What the hell are they talking about?
They
Crazy.
said they went on your page and said you be wearing a wig.
Maybe for Halloween.
Oh, for Halloween shit. I don't know.
What are they talking about?
Hey, what's my chat talking about?
Listen, we're gonna battle this guy. He says he's unbeatable. Now, I want.
No, I never said
everyone
I was unbeatable. I never said I
He
was
said he's
unbeatable. I said
unbeatable. In this battle, he
I
said
ain't
he's
never said
unbeatable.
that. No. I
Listen,
ain't never said I was
we
unbeatable.
love this guy, but we have to talk over him. We have to do. Listen, everyone in his chat, give him one loss for the day. He never loses. He never loses. You don't have to give me anything. Get me above 800 points and just stop on his side. Just put the brakes on. Let him know that you have the power. The people have the power, not the dictator or the leader. He's the leader. He's the dictator. Show him that he doesn't have the power.
Ah, man, we can't lose this one now. He talking a lot, man. He talking a lot. We can't lose this one now. He doing a lot of talking.
Because he told me
Man,
that
he doing a lot of
I'm
talking,
taking
y'all.
an L.
Thank you, Jim.
And
Thank you, Mrs. Toad.
he
Thank you,
shouldn't
Shane.
win
He doing
on
a
that
lot of
basis
talking.
alone. He
A lot of
shouldn't.
talking
Everyone
going on,
knows
man.
that he shouldn't win. And I'm going to do everything I can in the next 3 minutes. Not everything, but as much as I can to be really nice to him. But we need to show his people that they're in control, that you can take control and put him in his place. Make him quiet. Okay, he talks all day long. This is time
Nah,
to make
man.
him
They know I'm
quiet.
humble,
Yes.
man. They
Thank
know
you,
I'm
Jess.
humble.
I'm going to
Nah,
thank
man.
everyone. Let's just put one loss on the table for him. If he loses, he won't be able to sleep. He'll wake up in the morning and he'll be thinking about all of you. He will. If anybody, listen, I tell you one thing I've never even seen. I've never seen a lion, and that will put him to bed. I don't know if that is something that's even possible, but
Tracy and Ada. Did this dude just say a lion? Is that what the hell he just said? He just said a lion.
I've never seen one.
Come on.
Okay, but I don't care lion or anything. My strategy in this battle is put the brakes on everything in his room. Get me over 1456 and just let him cook there, right? That's what they call it. Simmer him. I'm going to simmer him. If we can just get ahead in this battle, I can simmer everyone in his room very easily because he's been collecting and collecting and collecting for months, if not years. Now you guys are freaking cooking me. Don't cook me.
I wish Kenneth was here because one of my viewers. I have a lot of great viewers. One of my viewers, Kenneth, he loves to send lions. I wish he was here that you could see one. Thank you,
I
Tommy.
just want to see it.
Trevor,
It could be to you too, but I'm getting crushed here. This is David and Goliath. I know, Greg. It's David and Goliath. This is not fair. This is not a fair battle. We have to do a battle, but we have to.
I'm gonna just let him do all the talking, man, because I feel like he's helping my cause, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna let him do all the talking, man.
You should.
You know what I mean?
Because it's only 3,600 to 494, but I can turn his people. I know I can do it. It's only been an hour talking to him, but he's nervous right now. He might unfollow me after this because he knows that I have the capability to turn
I
this.
ain't gonna
That's
unfollow
why
you.
he's saying, "Hey, what do you want to gain on TikTok?" And you know what? I only want to gain one thing. I want to take every one of his followers and just bring them over here. They don't have to give me anything. We'll talk about whatever they want. I'm gonna Take every single one of them. I'm going to make him, instead of the top 100, I'm going to make him the top 200 now. I'm going to make him go down 100 ranks somehow. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to figure out a way. Okay. And I got him to laugh, so that
Shit
means we're doing
hilarious,
something
man.
okay. All right.
This
But
is
he made fun of
hilarious.
me. I only got 40 points in the last round. And he's got a boxing glove. This is not good.
It's
Guys,
honestly
don't
hilarious.
use the boxing glove on him. Show me how to use a boxing glove.
Thank you,
Listen,
Senhen.
I
Thank you,
can't talk
Artwork.
anymore if I'm not going to get support.
Tommy.
I need a little support. In
Thank you, Mike. There we
12,000?
go. You just saw a lion. You saw that?
No.
You didn't see that? That was a baby lion.
Oh,
Thank you, Mike.
Someone told me
was-
the lion covers the whole screen.
Yeah. That's the big one. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to look it up. I got killed.
I appreciate you, Mike. Man. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, look, you said that last time I got 40 points and you only got like 5, whatever. And it's because I didn't put up a battle. I put up a
The
battle.
only reason you got 507 is because Hyotu went over there and threw you a little hat on your head. That's
I know.
Hyotu. That's one of my best brothers. That's one of my best viewers. He went over there, man. I think he went over there out of pity.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe, but
I think he went over there
part
out
of
of
the
pity.
reason. I'm here for, but I have to talk to my people. I'm not, you have months or whatever amount of time where you've developed relationships with all these people. So a lot of my
Yes.
people is only like a few days of talking to. So if I don't continue to talk to them, they're not going to help me in the battle. You understand?
I understand. Mark, let me tell you something, man. I followed you. Thank you for following me, man. It was amazing talking to you in all sincerity.
Yeah.
I've talked to a lot of people on TikTok, probably like 10, 15 people. Some people are funny. Some people are genuine. Some people are kind. This conversation today was a learning experience for me. I appreciate your perspective, and I appreciate you for taking this time to talk to me. It was the longest I talked to anybody on TikTok. Let me see how long we talked. I've been on for like 2 hours and 10 minutes. I think we talked for like an hour and a half of it. I think an hour and a half of it was spent with you.
It was
So I really
interesting.
appreciate your time. We got to do it again. We
We
got to
will.
do it again, man.
I'm
All
gonna,
right.
I'm going to get some better people in the chat to try to beat you in a battle one day.
Nah, you need more people in the chat.
No, I have
need
some
more.
really good people that have helped me.
You
Hey,
need
listen,
to get, you know that guy that you about to go to his house tomorrow? You know that guy that you about to go to his house
Yeah.
tomorrow where he got a nice ass house? You need to get him to come over to your room and you need to get him to drop some shit.
not going to happen. It's not going to. He's never going to be on TikTok ever.
Never?
Never.
Cool.
This is not his.
All right, man.
He not going to happen. he would help me if I ever needed help, but he ain't going to be on TikTok.
Not on TikTok. I got you.
This is
I'll
like
see you later, Mark.
All right,
We'll
take
talk
it easy.
again.
All right, you got it.
We'll talk again, Mark.
All right, you got it. Just hit me up.
We'll talk again.
Bye bye.
See you later. Bye-bye.
All right, I apologize to everyone that I kind of ignored during this.
Hey, everybody, what y'all think of what just happened? That was a nice conversation we had. I don't agree with everything he said, but I enjoyed the conversation. That was a intelligent person to talk to. That was some good perspective. And I thought he was very representative of a American citizen, an American that comes from a position of privilege. That's my biggest way of summarizing that conversation. I think a lot of it was very American-centric, and it's not surprising because I'm American as well, and I can see things, you know what I mean? So I enjoyed it, man. Great guy, great conversation. Like I said, man, it was this app keeps surprising me, man. This app really keeps surprising me. I just think there's a lot of good people. Thank you, Joey, that are out there for us to talk to. And like I said, we're going to do this a few times a week. When I need to get some rest indoors, or if we go to a city that's kind of boring at nighttime for me, not really much to see during the night, we're going to do a little bit more of this every single week, man. You know what I mean? Much love, everybody. Have a great Sunday. Have a great Sunday. Much love to everybody, man. Much love. Hyotu, Mike, Elizabeth, everybody. I appreciate everybody, man. You guys are amazing. All right. Thank you so much for giving me. I knew I shouldn't have gone out there tonight to do that bullshit ass live stream from the streets, man. There wasn't shit going on. I should have done this at like 10:30. I should have done this at 10:30, man. I knew I shouldn't have done. I knew I should have just did this tonight. Shit. See you guys later. I'm gonna see you guys Sunday night. I'll be back Sunday night. I'll be back tonight. I'll see y'all later, everybody. Go check out the brand new episode I posted if you haven't. I know Mike did. I know Hyotu did. Go check out the brand new episode. You will love it. I promise you, you will love this new episode. It's actually pretty cool. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye, everybody. I'll be back tonight, maybe 9 o'clock, 8:30, East Coast. See you later. Much love, everybody.